All right. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Midnight Show at the appropriate time. Look at that. It's 12:30 today. 12:30 a.m. Pacific time, in the midnight hour. What do I owe the pleasure? Well, first we'll start off with a video, and I wanted to show off a few of the promos I made. It's two promos I made for the show with Davey. I felt compelled to make one of them, and then I got an idea for another one while I was making it. So, but somebody had made us an intro song, and it reminds me of a Matt Berry song. And I fell in love with it. I love the little jingle they made for us. So I made a short video for it, and I think it's decent enough that I said, hey, we'll talk about this weird story featuring somebody connected to Bill Gates mysteriously dying with his stepdaughter and daughter in a 4-foot above ground pool. Let's take a look at that story. It's a little weird. But first, without further ado, for a second there. For a split second, I thought it was slick. Out.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
the sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on
You really
social
gotta
media.
stamp out that
More alarming,
misinformation,
some media
don't we,
outlets
folks?
publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Once again, asking for your financial support.
Disgusting.
You're killing me, man!
And we drop thousands of dollars down on the fans.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
I gave them a lot of money. Because I gave them a lot of money.
the sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy, folks. People need to stop being so dangerous to our democracy. So I made this little thing, and then I'll show you the little jingle.
You are now watching the Midnight Crockpot with Wild and Davey, my favorite show, as a real human being with likes and interests.
That's right, Sharon. Davey and Wild put out consistently some of the best content. I should know, as a fellow human who watches a lot of YouTube and plays a lot of Fortnite.
I really like to hear about all of the latest products from my favorite brands. I am excited to consume the next product.
The next product will make me almost as excited as a new episode of the Midnight Crockpot, airing about once a week. You should subscribe, like, and follow both of them on Twitter to keep a close eye on their upcoming videos.
We are also contractually obligated to beg for your money, as is written in our contract. These men could be out on the streets, and then what would you be listening to? A couple of more hours of cable news, let's plays, or movie reviews? Where would you get cutting-edge content if one of these guys found a career to pursue?
Look, don't expect us to send our money, but we can assure you that your purchase is well worth the money spent. 100% of every penny earned does not get sent to charity. Your money doesn't help kids in Africa, but you get to choose exactly where that money doesn't go.
That's right, Steve. And now, the Midnight Crockpot, a show that is insightful, makes me think for myself, and personally, I find it very enjoyable.
And now, the Midnight Crockpot.
I needed to lean a little bit more on actual sarcasm there, I think. I think it just a little too much. Okay. Maybe tone it down a little bit, right? Crystal ball person shit on Tucker? I haven't. We'll have to take a peek during the show. Right. And I got this last one here. By the way, big shout out to Irrational Times. I mean, I didn't ask before I made this video. I just assumed that the reason he sent it to me was to make something with it. So, Irrational Times, thank you very much.
And I can probably physically beat down pretty much any male between the ages of...
And you ladies, are you aware of that?
Up.
Just how powerful I am?
Deep conversations with your wife. Yeah, I can definitely imagine that. Me and a female. We're gonna...
We got that late night feeling. It's exactly what you needed. You like what you're hearing, no need to fear it. The nighttime is the right time for the Midnight Crockpot. The Midnight Crockpot. The Midnight Crockpot. The Midnight Crockpot. All right.
Dancing Richard Spencer really ties it together, I think. Directed by Alan Smithy. Some people might get that reference.
It's the Midnight Crockpot.
Look at that. Look at that, chat. How about that? How about that? Getting this little editing thing down, folks. Getting that shit down. And like I said, big shout out to Irrational Times. I love that jingle. It reminds me of a Matt Berry song. It reminds me of One by One by Matt Berry. One step too far with a $2 super chat. Crocko smiles better, but I'm just a Bastarian. Well, thank you for the $2, man. Smithy. Oh, it's 2E's. Are you kidding me? I've re-encoded this goddamn video like 8 times. I have to do it again. Oh. That down. See, thank you, Coach, because, you know, if I didn't show that, the first episode would have had the typo in it.
And you ain't black.
You're already booming it up. Already boomering it up. Okay. Without further ado, got this other layout for you guys to enjoy there. Look at that. Tonight we'll be talking about something I saw in Breaking 911. None other than Breaking 911. Why even do that? Let's just do it. An 8-year-old girl, her mother, and her grandfather drowned in their new home's swimming pool. Strange, right? So it is Bharat Patel. This fellow here. I can't find much more information on him. No, wait a minute. This isn't the right guy. This is a Zimbabwean judge. You see, that's how much of a fucking specter this guy is. You look for him, and all you can find is some judge from Zimbabwe. Something's fishy, folks. Something's fishy, and I dislike fish, but we're still gonna sniff this thing out. Even if it includes fish. We'll get this through here. Put up if you don't believe. No, I believe you. I was internally debating that as I was writing that part. Or typing up the text for it. Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, somebody's gonna need to get one of these gentlemen a sponge. And a spittoon, maybe. We also talked earlier, I think some of you were gone, so we'll briefly go over, even though in the stream I went over it a few times because people asked for it, but there is a story in Oregon. I see one of the regulars in chat that wasn't here earlier that I think would appreciate this story. Oregon County issues a directive for everyone to wear masks except people of color. So basically everyone who's white has to wear a mask. So in the official document here, we'll just go over this real quick. The following individuals do not need to comply with this directive. Persons with health medical conditions that preclude or are exacerbated by wearing face covering. Children under the age of 12. And which I pointed out earlier, you know, if you're over 12, I guess you're fucked. You're going to have to get knelt on at some point. Persons with disabilities that prevents them from using a face covering as described in this directive. And people of color who get this, who have heightened concerns about racial profiling and harassment due to wearing face coverings in public. What the hell, man? So you're telling me I'm going to get harassed in public, but you're going to let them not get harassed in public for some reason? That's kind of bullshit. This is what he meant when he said we live in a society, I guess. We truly live in a society. Alright, but let's check out this story right here. This breaking 911 story. An 8-year-old girl, her mother, and their grandfather drowned in their new home swimming pool. And as you can see, it's an above ground pool. It's not very deep. People are saying it's a 4-foot pool. I can't even really think like a 4-foot pool. They all drown, all 3 of them. Did they all eat some food before going swimming or something? They all got cramps. Just, oh my god. Did they have info on Hillary Clinton? That's what everyone is saying. That's the meme. But even worse, she had connections to Bill Gates, or he had connections to Bill Gates, the grandfather, Bharat Patel. So it says here, a 62-year-old man, his daughter-in-law, and her daughter have been identified as victims who perished yesterday in East Brunswick Township. Bharat Patel, 62, his 33-year-old daughter-in-law. So the daughter-in-law is 33. Nisha Patel and her 8-year-old daughter, who all reside at the home in East Brunswick, have been identified as victims. East Brunswick police responded to the home located at 43 Clearview Road at approximately 4:18 p.m. on June 22nd and found the 3 victims unresponsive in the pool, and they were pronounced dead shortly after being found at 4:18 p.m. So right in the middle of the day. WPVI reported neighbors said the family had recently moved into the house and were friendly. Authorities called an electrical contractor to the house, and sources said they believe there may have been an electrical issue in or near the pool that led to the deaths. Police have not confirmed this theory. This is devastating for our entire community. It is too early to determine what happened. Exactly what happened. The Middlesex County Regional Medical Examiner's Office has determined the matter of death as accidental and the cause of death to be drowning for all 3 victims. So it's been confirmed that electricity had nothing to do with this, but still, authorities called an electrical contractor to the home, and sources said they believe there may have been an electrical issue in or near the pool that led to the deaths. So what's up with the electrical contractor? Can't help but find that strange. Now, people are saying, of course, on social media, people say a lot of things, but people are saying that this guy had connections to Bill Gates, and I figure, you know, instead of doing homework, not literal homework, but, you know, streamer homework, I guess, said, we'll just do it live, bros. We'll just do it live. So, again, according to Breaking 911, update, electricity did not play a role in the swimming pool deaths of 8-year-old girl, her mother, and grandfather. Strange. Real strange. So, if you go down and here, this person seems to be of the belief, what they posted here, she was the U.S. program officer at the Bill Gates Foundation. She oversaw, so this is the woman that perished at the age of 33, as noted in the article. She was the U.S. program officer at the Bill Gates Foundation. She oversaw $17 billion in federal grants and budget spending. Herself, her daughter, and her grandfather were all drowned in their new pool. those personal legends of this. I can't seem to find much on this Brett Patel, but that's likely due to the fact that we're looking to find information on the daughter, the stepdaughter. You know, I have heard about that, Coach. I have heard it's like a strange thing that what'll happen, and even in family gatherings, like large family gatherings, and this does tend to happen to African American families during the summer. You know, that whole stereotype or myth about African Americans, blacks, not being able to swim. There is some truth to that, right? There is always some truth to the stereotype, right? And in a lot of cases, you'll read about this. Just you can check Google. There's all sorts of stories about this. Somebody will go into the water, they'll start drowning, and then nobody there knows how to swim. And again, the reason I brought up that it happens a lot to African Americans is because most of these articles are African American families. One person goes in, and then another person goes in to get them, and then another person gets them, and the next thing you know, like 8 of them die. It's tragic. It reminds me, there is a show, an old sketch comedy show called The State, where everyone ate barbecue right before going swimming, and so they all got cramps, and it's just a whole pool full of people that are just drowning, and then there's one guy who's sitting on the edge of the pool in a chair. I go, hey guys, you should never go swimming unless you wait 20 minutes after eating. I remembered to stay out of the pool until it's been the appropriate amount of time. And he's sipping on his cocktail like that. Archive like a Daruda stand. Maybe just randomly looked at that in chat. But yeah, let's see if we can find anything about this, right? Nisha Patel. Nisha G. Patel is her name. Mobility Partnership. Social Policy Institute, Sutter Health. That's not the same person. Okay. So I believe this is the person here. Nisha G. Patel, Executive Director of U.S. Partnership on Mobility from Poverty. Nisha Patel is an Institute Fellow and Executive Director of the U.S. Partnership on Mobility from Poverty at the Urban Institute, supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Partnership is a nonpartisan group of leaders, experts, and practitioners working to identify promising interventions to make real, lasting progress against persistent poverty in America. Patel has nearly 2 decades of experience leading, developing, and implementing initiatives to increase economic opportunities for low-income families. She served in the Obama administration as Director of the Office of Family Assistance within the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, overseeing $17 billion annual portfolio of federal grants, including the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program. So this woman oversaw $17 billion worth of funding. Starting to become a little bit more clear, isn't it, chat? Especially with her serving in the Obama administration as the office of or director of the Office of Family Assistance. Patel was previously deputy director of Ascend at the Aspen Institute, where she led national efforts to expand 2-generation approaches to improve outcomes for children and their parents. Whatever the hell that means. Before that, Patel was a program officer in the U.S. program at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where she managed a portfolio focused on increasing post-secondary success through community partnerships and policy development, as well as special initiatives. Patel previously held positions as director of programs at Washington Area Women's Foundation and senior policy analyst at the Center for Law and Social Policy. He has also been an adjunct professor at the George Washington University. Patel is a graduate of Vanderbilt. There's so many fucking things here that just make me go fucking crazy. Gotta part ways. She wasn't clitonated. She wasn't Arkansas. It was just an awful accident. All right, well, I'll consider that. I'm gonna take all of this with a massive grain of salt. But you know how this is gonna go. But 2 hours in, I'm just gonna have a full fucking chart up on my wall. But anyway, Coach, have a good one, man. Take her easy. The ant was there the whole time. Are you kidding me? Strange that didn't make the article. They could totally pin it on her. Oof. My goal is to generate great ideas and move them into action with a focus on solutions that create economic opportunity in the United States. Well, I mean, if this woman is legit, this is the type of stuff that, hey, it sounds really nice. It sounds like she's a really nice person, which would lead me to believe that she's probably not a very nice person. I would be led to believe that she is probably, even if she is a person, she's probably shaken hands, done some shady dealings in the pursuit of doing good. That's the thing. When you try to do good on a mass scale, you end up having to wrap yourselves in the very things you tried to fight against in the first place. One of those curious ironies about life. Check my... Will do. Alright, we have an article from the New York Post. New Jersey family drowned trying to save young girl because none of them could swim. There it is. So coach might be right here. The New Jersey family members who drowned in their backyard pool were trying to rescue an 8-year-old from deep water, but none of them could swim, law enforcement sources said. Okay, so it's a 7-foot, or 6 or 7 feet. So that's a little bit more believable. People have been saying it was a 4-foot pool. Matter of fact, I should probably change that because I think that's in the description for the video. Just a second, chat. That's a good point. Who puts in a pool and no one knows how to fucking swim? That in that. Yeah, maybe learn to swim if you're getting a pool. That's why they got the pool, though, right? I mean, here's the thing. When I was a kid, you know how I learned to swim, chat? My father picked me up by my belt loop and just tossed me into the water. No joke, that's exactly what happened. And you know what happened? I started kicking my feet and like moving my arms, and whoa. Oh. Like, I mean, I was a kid, so I was kind of freaking out for a second. And he goes, "You'll be fine. I'm right here." And he just kind of looked at me like, he's like, "Come on, you'll be fine." And I'm like, "No, I don't know how to swim." And I'm like, I'm moving my arms. I'm like, oh, I got this. This is kind of neat. Start moving my arms. I mean, maybe it's different for everybody else, but 6 to 7. That is what they said in the article.
Get the fuck back! Get the fuck back!
Just have to hop up and down. Pretty much, it's just like a fluid. You just use your own energy and momentum to keep yourself afloat. And I don't mean this as an insult to people who can't swim, but I can't understand somebody not being able to just swim. To just figure it out. I mean, at least in a pool. I mean, if it's a kid, you look, an 8-year-old, right? They're a kid still. But when an adult hits the water and there's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die now. I've heard stories about people like that where, what's that actress? I forget her name, but it was an older actress. And Christopher Walken was present before she died. I forget her name. He was dating some other actor, I think. And yeah, she just fell into the water and didn't know how to swim. I mean, these things do happen, and it's very tragic. Just family devastated like this. But, you know, maybe take them to local, let them hang out. I was gonna say like a bathtub maybe, but that has some negative connotations. Like you could give them some floaties. You know, that was. I never had floaties. I was always jealous. I'm like, man, those look like weird muscles. If you like put a long sleeve shirt on it, and then maybe some rubber bands around, you look buff. I was a goof when I was a kid. I'm a goof. But if your kid doesn't know how to swim, bro, you should absolutely get some floaties. Get a little tube. You know what I mean? Buy them shit to just hang on to. It just pulls them back up. Nice chill drowning stream. Yeah, you know, the premise for the stream, I'll admit, is maybe a little distasteful, but what can you do? Hindsight's about 2010, but floaties make it worse in the long term, too. That's true. Anyway, the tragic ordeal began when the child, identified by neighbors as Sachi Patel. Yes, we're good. Jumped into a 6 or 7 foot deep section of the above ground pool at the family's recently purchased house in East Brunswick on Monday afternoon, sources said. I'll just delete this tweet because it's fucking wrong. I believe I'm mistaken. I'll just delete it. Instead of correcting, just go, I was wrong. Maybe I should put update. It was not exactly news. In hindsight, yeah, that's what I should have done. Okay. Jumped the gun on that one, my bad. Senate Intel Committee votes require the Pentagon to release report on UFOs from 6 hours ago. Check that out. Most of us are swimming when we're baby. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'll finish. Somebody asked me who drowned, so I'll just start from the top and then just read through. It's not a very long article. It has a bit more information than the previous one we took a look at. The New Jersey family members who drowned in their backyard pool were trying to rescue an 8-year-old girl, their granddaughter, from deep water, but none of them could swim, law enforcement sources said. The tragic ordeal began when the child, identified by neighbors as Sachi Patel, jumped into a 6 or 7 foot deep section of the above ground pool at the family's recently purchased home in East Brunswick on Monday afternoon. An aunt who was watching the girl called for help, and the child's 62-year-old grandfather, Bharat Patel, jumped in to try to save her, according to sources. But Bharat struggled in the water because he didn't know how to swim. So the girl's mother, 33-year-old Nisha Patel, then jumped in, but Nisha also didn't know how to swim and struggled. Why, chat? Like, this is sad and everything, right? But why would you buy a pool if nobody in your family knows how to swim? Like, maybe start off with one of those, I don't know, one of those different types of pools. For some reason, there's Pepper Talks chat is a different color in the stream bot menu. I don't know why. Weird. I don't need that pen anyway. So let's see where we're at. But Nisha also didn't know how to swim, struggled to save both her daughter and her father-in-law before drowning. The aunt who witnessed the ordeal was able to reach the young girl in the water, but not soon enough to save her life. God, that's... The three lived in a house on Clearview Road, which the family bought in April for $451,000. A neighbor who spoke with Bharat before the incident told NBC the family recently had the pool fixed up. On Monday may have been the first time they had used it. On Tuesday, Mayor Brad Cohen told NJ.com that the entire East Brunswick community is shocked and saddened, of course. Condolences, of course. Authorities had originally been investigated whether the trio had been electrocuted in the pool, but ruled that out Tuesday afternoon. So here we go. That's the full update. I guess that's the full story. Just a tragic event of a family that tried to run before they could walk. That probably sounds way mean than it's supposed to be, but
Get fucked!
Learn from the mistakes made by others, chat. That's all I can say. If you don't know how to swim, maybe buy yourself a kiddie pool. Go to the lake. Buy yourself an adult floaty.
I just got a free cheeseburger.
Get yourself an anime body pillow and like fill it with a plastic bag that's inflated with air. Better yet, helium. Bro, helium? That thing's not gonna go out.
No.
Imagine.
No.
You could weigh like what? An entire 10 pounds, and you'd still be able to stay up on that damn thing.
No San Francisco cocksucker. No Jew.
And a few life preserves on ropes. Have everyone just tied to a rope so they can be pulled back in. Like, let them go one at a time into the water. And they get too far in, just reel them back in. You gotta... It's a learning process, chat. What is rope? I've heard that rope is just this weird inanimate object that is incredibly racist and targets African Americans. It's really sad, to be quite honest with you. Absolute shame. Absolute shame.
Stay the fuck back!
Alright, let's see what's going on. Let's just type protest into YouTube and see what comes up. Black Lives Matter protests Andrew Jackson statue in Lafayette Square. Oh, that's nice. Let's check in. I bet these... it's a restream. That's the one... I feel like if people are just restreaming shit, you should kind of put that in title. I want to see some people on the road. Maybe not on the road. Alright, we have some live footage from Chop over in Chaz, where people are just getting robbed, beaten, otherwise mugged. There's one guy, that Japanese man, that went there to prove that it's peaceful, and he got his ass kicked. You mean like lynching? Yeah, pretty much.
Cocksucker!
Do I like lynching? That depends entirely on the subject in question.
Stay the fuck back!
That is what we call a total joke, folks. Yeah, it looks like it's just a bunch of shit. We got Times Square. What's going on in Times Square? Look at that shit. Nothing. Nothing. Low energy. Maybe we really do look at society. Disney logo really ties the whole fucking image together. Thank God. Thank God. Hey, you know what? Donald Trump, lowest black unemployment rate in history. We can't give him enough credit for that, chat. That's what he wanted, more than anything, is to get that through everybody's fucking heads. And, you know, message loud and clear. Fuck the wall. Everyone needs to know that black Americans were most benefited by your presidency. There was a UFO video I saw the other day, but I think it might be fake. So I'm not going to bother showing it to you because I think it's fake. The reason I think it's fake is that the person who uploaded the video had 2 separate videos of it. It was as if the UFO came back so we could record it again. Or the couple, or I think there were like 7. What about his H-1B visa move? You know, at this point, right? Like, it was too late 4 fucking years ago. So, small, inconsequential action like that, you still get an F grade, fucker. You still get an F. You might get a passing grade if you get reelected and really turn it around. But I'm too cynical to believe that any of it actually matters. I hate to admit that, but I've been saying that a lot lately. I don't really believe democracy is legitimate. think they just call what they do democracy. Democracy isn't the rule of the people. It is the swindle of the people under the guise of giving power to the people. You know, here, give these people busy work. Let them protest a bunch of fucking statues. Yeah, all of these. This is what I dislike, man. I just want to see somebody's real stream. Yeah. Restreaming the fucking title, asshole. So it doesn't look like anything's popping off tonight. We got some other things we can take a look at. Oh man. What a fucking weird time we have found ourselves in, chat. Don't even know anymore. If this is in Kentucky, it's gonna be late. I'm supposed to believe that that's a live video. Yeah, there's really nothing going on. Kind of surprising. Well, chat. Give me a second here. I'll find something else for us to check out. Mystery fucking solved. Mystery fucking solved. You know, I'm kind of bummed that it wasn't a massive conspiracy. Kinda bummed. Can you stream Twitch? Yeah, we can stream Twitch. I believe so, anyway. I think we can. Which, by the way, we will be restreaming Twitch for Crocko, Crockpot. But yeah, they're protesting Andrew Jackson, apparently. Some more bullshit. Oh, did you guys hear about 30 Rock? They're removing like 4 episodes because there was use of blackface. Oh, look at this. QAnon is trending. Senate Democrats block Republican police reform bill. Nice. Based. Take a look here, chat. Senate Democrats block Republican police reform bill. The GOP Justice Act, aimed at changing national police practices, was halted in a procedural vote by Senate Democrats on Wednesday, who claim that the measure is not expansive enough. Democrats and Republicans have each proposed their own legislation in recent weeks calling for changes to policing practices nationwide. I think what I'm going to do, chat, is you see how this the browser window, there's no green, there's a green filter, and I think I might do that for blue and red as well, so I can switch back through them.
Get the fuck back! Get the
Oh, you know what I can do?
And you ladies, are you aware of that? Just how powerful I am?
Is this it? Okay.
Y'all killing me with this.
They're just messing around with the thing. Grayscale, original, posterized, red isolated, and teal orange.
We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children.
Let's check out the teal orange, right, chat? Gotta.
I just got a
Meh.
free cheeseburger bite in there. I just picked it up and ate it.
Man, I'm glad we have it as an option. But I think I would prefer the other one. There was posterized as well, but I don't think that posterized is something you would want to use under specific circumstances.
Eat a fucking call you a new grabbing that.
I am here for it.
I said it's not even hot outside.
Well then. And then we got QAnon trending. Like, that's cool. But I'll find some more interesting things. I had a few articles from earlier. I just gotta find them. Let's see if we can find why. I don't know why it's trending. Okay, an oath of enlistment. Okay,
Tell the crew
this
to
could be
push
funny.
the Whopper button.
This is from Mike Rothschild. I write about conspiracy theories and online nonsense, including QAnon and coronavirus. Author of the world's worst conspiracies. DMs open, no relation. Well, that's good to know. I'll follow his shit. At first I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Something I'm also entertaining, after Dave and I get a few episodes, potentially, depending on how we work this out. He's been rather busy lately, which has been good because I've had all this extra time and a few ideas to make what I think will be a full-on producible, podcast that I can put somewhere onto iTunes and Spotify and be proud of it. Say this is a good show. The Midnight Show's fun, right? But this is really... I've heard people describe live streams as friend simulators, and that... I know that has a negative connotation here, but we really do just kind of hang out in a lot of cases. I'll find something, I'll rant about it for a minute. We play games occasionally, but I basically just like to show off the videos I work on, the small ones, and fuck around with a chat bot and the little tools we have. Just fun-loving shenanigans. But, yeah, the new right wing totally fucking sucks, doesn't it? 2016, 2017, that was a lot of fun. But man, no fun anymore. Number of judges that could be appointed after the election, I have no idea. By the way, I should probably, as Coach pointed out, that Michael Flynn judge, I haven't paid attention to that. That seems like something we could check out after this, maybe. So proud. Not as good as Girlfriend Simulator Twitch. That is true, folks. $132, huh? I'm curious. Are we in the feed? We are. Senate Intel Committee votes to... We'll check that out, too. I think Gino said that. I was watching old police activity videos earlier. Cop says to partner, "Hey, Gator, head around back." I laughed harder than I should have. Oh, man. That's good. We might... I kind of want that audio clip, but...
How dare you!
Do a parlayer? Parlay? I don't know what parlay is.
Taiwan number
No, Red.
one.
I think all it takes right now is just going somewhere and declaring it a white ethno state. Look at Chaz. Look at the BHAS too, or BHAZ, where you can just push down Jewish women to the floor. No consequences at all. Not that you would want to do that or that I would encourage that sort of behavior, but that's what goes on over there. So I don't see why, Richard fucking so mad Spencer can't fucking start his goddamn white ethno state right where he's at. Just go right outside his house, scream, "I rule the fucking world," put up a blockade, boom, white ethno state. What are the police going to do something about it? Or if not, you guys might say, yeah, of course they're going to step in because they apply the rules or they don't apply the rules unilaterally. But then I say to you, no, well then take the white ethno state to Chaz. Get some of these deranged right-wingers I hear so much about, but never see anywhere. And just take it. Just show up to Kaz and be like, okay, dude. You work for us now. Here's your name tag. And he looks at it and goes, "Not my name." Yeah, it is. In any case, They could do it. They could do that right now. Full on, just go secede and everything. Nothing's stopping them. Look at these fucking clowns. What they've been able to accomplish recently. A crypto jogger. You know something? I'm not even mad. I am not even mad. I'll take it.
Oh, fuck.
Start an autonomous zone inside Chaz. Oh boy. Now that would be something, wouldn't it? And here's what you do. I've said this before, but you know what you call the white ethno-state? You don't call it Europa. I know that's what you want to call it. You call it New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem. They'd be so fucking mad. You really want to piss some people off. That'll show everybody a good fucking time. Anyway, yeah, fucking octoroons, right? And here's the thing, chat. If and when the white ethno-state ever goes, and if and when you're ever a member, you make sure all the white people there, wink wink, we're all persons of color, okay? We are just a bunch of based 56%ers, and we were inspired by the Jewish people, who are the real white people, and we wanted to start a nation for ourselves in the place of our holy scripture. Maybe mentioning holy scripture might be bad. I saw those what those tanks did to those families. I'm good. Real Israel. Yeah, yeah. Or New Jerusalem, real Israel. But what if the Chazanites are already there? They won't take out their own agents, man. Brilliant. Oh wait, they might. CM'd me something. Well, let's take a look then. Yeah, so we'll take a look at some of this Q shit here in a minute. Let's see. Ending white privilege. Privilege is the special rights and advantages that are available only to a person or group. People, if Jewish Americans make up 2% of the population, why do they get special privilege when it comes to top universities? Meaning, Yale, 27% of the students are Jewish. Strange, yeah, 1,500 Jewish students. Exactly. Whereas there are a total of 5,477. Cornell, 3,000 Jewish students, 14,315 total students at 21%. Harvard, 25%. Columbia, 27% with 3,000. And also University of Chicago with 800 with a 14%. I don't know why there's a lower amount. I can't imagine why. My thoughts on that. Well, it's a little bit of everything, right? Because there is nepotism within that community, but I think a lot of people forget about the simple things. It's the same way why in a lot of cultures, like in Japan, right, there is like a huge pressure to succeed within the family. And so that, in a lot of cases, drives like strong family units to encourage people to do better. So there is nepotism, but on top of that, you also have people who are driven, who are able to pick something they want to do and pursue it. And because they happen to be a little bit smarter than the average person on the planet Earth, they are, if they're determined and they keep their head on their shoulders, it's pretty much a smooth ride. Like, just say that you're a Jewish student and your professor is half Jewish or whatever. You know, that person's probably going to be a little friendly with you because they share that thing in common. And this goes for every group, by the way. This isn't even just Jewish people that do it. It's just more prevalent because they're more successful. It's like an endless feedback loop. And it is bullshit, by the way. It isn't fair. I agree with you on that. But I think there is nepotism, but I think the truth is a little bit lesser than the extreme that most people think it is. Even though there is a lot of that high profile shit going on at the top levels. I heard about Tim Pool going more to the right, dude. I'm going to be a cynical bastard about this and tell you that I don't buy it for 1 second. He just wants to sell more buckets of food. But hey, that's just my humble little opinion. I am so mad. Just my humble little opinion. I don't know much about nothing in this world. I'm gonna fix something up real quick. that out. I realized since I had this overlay last up on screen, I have gotten a few more tools. I mean, I will say that the it doesn't work. I'll have to read. Some of these GIFs don't work.
Jew! No Jews. Jew! No Jews. Forget Jews. Forget Jews. No Jew. Forget Jews. No Swidgen. No San Francisco cocksucker. No Jew.
I said
most of the time the GIFs work, chat. I don't know what's going on.
And you ladies, are you aware of that? Just how powerful I am?
You're killing me, man!
Move or anything. Weird. Okay. False alarm.
I am so proud.
Back. Anyway. Let's get into this QAnon shit. They've taken the oath. That's what I've been seeing. Let's see what the oath is all about. We got to see what this oath.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Where we go one, we go all. We are truly in this together. Let's fight where we can.
Nice.
I do.
Nice. Nice. One for the homies. There we go. Search take the oath. So yes, we will. In fact, matter of fact, we'll just take that oath right now. We'll just check it out. Thank you for standing together. Hashtag Dart to Light. Hashtag Save the Children. Hashtag Take the Oath. Hashtag Where We Go One, We Go All. Hashtag QAnon.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Where we go one, we go all.
Look at all these people who have totally unique insights, and this is not a cult at all.
And a Canadian who has, as a farmer, and a Canadian who has a special love and history with the United States, I'm proud to take my oath today with the help of my farm animals. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
We've heard this enough. I have, will you? And then the text, you know. Chat, I don't buy into their crappy cult. I gotta be honest with you. At first, it seemed maybe like something interesting to look into, but I'm glad I never bought into it fully. Gaming shit for some fucking reason. Strange, there isn't as much as I would have thought. No, there were 3 people so far we saw.
You're killing me, man!
all this is a bunch of fucking video game shit, and like, okay, here we are.
I solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute my role as an American, and to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That date, January 20th,
Fight
2017.
For a government that will represent all of us.
That I will faithfully execute my role
it's Hillary
as
Clinton.
an American, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Nice. All these are old.
I do solemnly swear that I will.
January 20th, one man will take an oath.
On January 20th, when Donald Trump raises his right hand to take the oath, I'm going to raise my right hand to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. Join me. Go to taketheoath.us and be part of the great American evolution. Oath.us.
Taketheoath.us. Site cannot be reached. Okay. Well, that's disappointing.
Hi, it's Carney Wilson.
Okay, that's a fat shaming video. Okay, so this is a bad hashtag. Gotta admit, I love it. Okay, so here are some gems, I guess. Mr. Rothschild. Digital soldiers, today we take the oath. Let's go. Most people took the oath back in 2017, but whatever. Nice. Nice. Let's make it trend, patriots. Make it trend. Take the oath. It does. Is anybody else reminded a little bit of the glorious nation of Kekistan? The Chatelet Strangler, the Chatelet Samurai, Hackfather. You guys remember that shit? A little bit of internet lore. Good stuff. Let's make this go viral. Love to all. I got here as quick as I could. Hashtag take the oath. It's time to make our stand, based magapeds.
Disgusting.
Okay, so a bunch of K-pop stuff too. What can you do with a drunken sailor? It's a pretty boring hashtag, I'll be honest with you. It's kind of amusing. Cards are pretty good. This is Kekistan too. Oh my god. Reddit is so awful. So I'm gonna put this fucking subreddit on blast because it used to be a funny subreddit, but now it is a and I don't frequent Reddit all the time, but I'll browse what used to be like more unknown subreddits that'll have news that typically doesn't get found on like mainstream. That's how I find stuff, right? It's a place for information. And this particular subreddit used to have like kind of outrageous stories, and it'd be easy for me to find something to talk about for the night. But over time, it has become just the same cesspool that Reddit is. Just pretentious fucking news hipsters. So, you know, people of color won't be required to wear masks in Oregon County. But right below that, you get this promoted tweet here. Together, let's honor George Floyd and every black life lost to police brutality and racial injustice. Black Lives Matter, they say. You know, it's rather frustrating that they give more fanfare for a criminal killed by police while resisting arrest, even if that is questionable and kind of bullshit. But when an innocent person gets gunned down in the street by a criminal, they don't even fucking talk about it. They don't even cover it on the news. But yeah, this is like over time become a, oh my god, look at, Trump. Oh my god, Trump, right? And look, I don't like Trump either. Come on now. Like this here, right? Here's a good example. South Dakota Governor Noam vows to protect Mount Rushmore. We won't stand for quote, radical rewriting of history. And you know that what's strange about it, like the reason they put it here is, oh my god, well, you guys took it from the Native Americans. You stole it. I never understood why it was that only the Native Americans had their land stolen from them. Nobody else had their land stolen from them, just the Native Americans. It's not as if the whole time we've been at war with one another as human beings, that there are effectively no rules. We've known this. The rule is survival. If you win, that's all that matters, right? So only now do we go back and go, well, I mean, you stole it. No, we won it in a war. We came and kicked your ass and took it from you. That's how the world works. You don't see people going back, right? You don't see like Central Americans going, well, you know, the Aztecs like conquered this whole land, so you know, you guys owe us. You got to pay us what you owe us. You owe us like something like 30,000 hearts. I don't know how you're going to come up with that, but you're going to have to come up with 30,000 hearts to pay us back. It's only America that, oh my god, this was stolen land. What the fuck do you mean stolen land? We fought for it fair and square. And even if a lot of the shit happened was really shady, shit was shady on both ends. That's how war works. There's no virtuous in a... No one is virtuous in a series of situations that cause people to do the mayhem. The pure fucking vile evil that happens in war. No one is fucking good in that situation. I was about to say something really like the only people good are the ones that are gunned down before they could be corrupted by evil. It's, you know, I'm becoming a little bit too much like Rorschach over here. But that always irritated me. How come Native Americans had their land stolen but no one else did? As far as I understand, there was a series of treaties where they're not. And yeah, one could say they didn't understand the treaty, and I would agree with you. It's kind of bullshit. Wouldn't be the first time somebody got fucked over. Won't be the last, I can assure you that. Yeah, I disagree with that. I mean, I really dislike that. I agree with you, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, especially when you read about what was happening, right? It's not that people just came here and were like, oh my god, these fucking savages, we hate it. It was, they showed up, they'd set up camp, and then some neighboring tribe, right, goes, hey, there's these people here, we should just go and take their shit. Sort of like what people complain about white people doing. And then they go in, they attack each other. They do some pretty brutal shit because, much like the Central Americans, they had a bit of a nuanced approach to human sacrifice in a lot of cases, or in some cases cannibalism. A lot of weird shit going on back then, but people didn't just show up and go, oh, I don't like these fucking people. I can guarantee you at first there were a lot of people who were like, oh man, new people. Wow, look at them. There was a lot of that going on. But there are a lot of different types of tribes, different types of people. So you met a nice tribe, you go and set up camp. Next thing you know, you get people who are vandals in the area, and they just come through and pillage the whole fucking town. And guess what that causes? That causes a person that hears about that or sees firsthand the brutality to go, oh wow, I'm taking my gloves off when I ever deal with these fucking pricks. And then that leads to the other side going, oh man, did you see how he dealt with us? We're going to have to, you know what I mean? It's an endless feedback loop. It just keeps snowballing. That's how war happens. But it's just the way of the world. The way of the world is built on blood. Anyway. That is very true, Calfart. If you've been somewhere for 30,000 years and you haven't developed the wheel, maybe you could have your land stolen. Maybe it doesn't belong to you at that point. Okay. Doing on stuff. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. There we go.
Tell me then, how far away should I take my men?
Man, the volume is so low I can't even hear it.
What precisely are your lands?
These are the lands where my people lived before you whites first came.
I don't understand. We whites were not your first enemies. Why don't you demand back the land in Minnesota where the Chippewa and others forced you from years before?
The Black Hills are sacred land given to my people by Wakantonka.
Very convenient to cloak your claims in spiritualism. And what would you say to the Mormons and others who believe that their God has given to them Indian lands in the West?
I would say they should listen to Wakantonka.
No matter what your legends say, you didn't sprout from the plains like the spring grasses, and you didn't coalesce out of the ether. You came out of the Minnesota woodlands, armed to the teeth, and set upon your fellow man. You massacred the Kiowa, the Omaha, the Ponca, the Oto, and the Pawnee without mercy. And yet you claim the Black Hills as a private preserve bequeathed to you by the Great Spirit.
And who gave us the guns and powder to kill our enemies? And who traded weapons to the Chippewa and others who drove us from our home?
Chief Sitting Bull, the proposition that you were a peaceable people before the appearance of the white man is the most fanciful legend of all. You were killing each other for hundreds of moons before the first white stepped foot on this continent. You conquered those tribes, lusting for their game and their lands, just as we have now conquered you for no less noble a cause.
This is your story of my people.
This is the truth, not legend.
See, the truth is, it's a cycle, right? Like, you guys had your time to fight, then somebody else came through and showed you how it was done. You lost fair and square. It's the way it goes. But your own people did the same exact thing. I liked how he said, you didn't come out of the ether. You came, your blood. You are man yourself. You are no different than we are. Yeah, I don't know what that's from. I was watching that going, man, the dialogue's good. It's pretty good. Colonialism is over. Is it? I seem to have heard about a glorious nation of Chaz. Really makes you wonder. They just annexed part of fucking Seattle. That dialogue was horrendous, Wild? I don't know. I thought it was fine. It was good. Maybe I just haven't watched TV in a while, but I was like, yeah, that was good. I was following that. Sounds like a Tim Pool screenplay. Oh, it sounded fine to me. Oh, we got another act of racism. Okay, that's a bit loud. That's still a bit loud. People, man. Can't even have the decency to speak at an inside volume. Okay, listen here, woman. You don't get to say that. That's our word.
That's what the fuck I thought. I said, watch your fucking mouth. Excuse me. The wrong nigger. I'm the wrong nigger. I'll beat your ass in this motherfucking store. I will beat your ass. Say nigger again.
Ma'am, even if I was there, I'd say, ladies, you are not acting like ladies, first of all. And second of all, that is a word that is not meant for my virgin ears. That word is specifically meant for Xbox Live. I do not appreciate the appropriation of the word of my people while I'm sitting here trying to buy some Mountain Dew and some Doritos. What a shame. What a shame. Oh no, they fight. Never mind. I was gonna walk away. Hold on.
You didn't hear what the fuck I just said?
Man, you really showed her that you're not some dumb fucking colored person, right? Really showed her. Really turned the other cheek, didn't ya? Boy, you know what? Everybody in this world is really proud of you. Everybody's very proud. It's always words, you know? They always talk about white fragility, but I always see, see that. And I just wonder. Oh, I miss that guy. I miss that guy. Rhode Island moves to change official name due to slavery connotations. What's up for you guys here? Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo recently issued an executive order to eliminate the Freudian slip. Eliminate the word plantations from state documents and websites. Currently, the official state name is the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. Done it, chat. We did it, Reddit. Did it. Where are we at here? Hour 10. Nope, that's not interesting. Looks like it's a slower news night than I thought. I thought this story would provide a little bit more of fluff, but what can you do? Oh wow. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Arizona official admits he brought women to the U.S. to give birth and charged families to adopt the babies. In Fayetteville, Arkansas, acting U.S. Attorney David Clay Folks for the Western District of Arkansas, special agent in charge of Diane Upchurch of the FBI Little Rock Field Office, and Peter Kapukakis. Okay, just a bunch of fucking names, okay? Announced today that Paul Peterson pled guilty to the offense of conspiracy to smuggle illegal aliens for commercial advantage and private financial gain. The plea agreement is one more step in a long road towards putting an end to illegal adoption practices that have long plagued the Marshallese community in our district. It is my sincere hope that this plea sends a strong message to those who would seek to take advantage of some of the more vulnerable members of our community. We will continue to investigate these cases and will continue to seek justice for all the parties involved. We will also continue to work to end this illegal adoption practice, which is nothing more than a sophisticated scheme to not only take advantage of the Marshallese community, but also to swindle prospective adoptive parents out of large sums of money. Law enforcement determined that the defendant, Paul, among other things, orchestrated the travel of several pregnant women from the Republic of the Marshall Islands to the Western District of Arkansas. The purpose of the travel was for Peterson to arrange the adoption of their children by families living in the United States.
Well, get fucked! Get fucked!
The FBI and DSS agents discovered that Peterson used credit card accounts and that he controlled to purchase airline tickets for several women, all citizens of the RMI who did not have official authorization to enter and reside in the United States, to travel from the RMI to the Western District of Arkansas. This travel, arranged and funded by Peterson, was in violation of the Immigration and Nationality Act because the women were all citizens of the RMI and were not eligible for admission into the United States under the terms of the compact. According to the state of Arkansas Circuit Court records, the families who adopted these children paid Peterson significant sums of money for him to act as a legal facilitator of the adoptions. Finally, also according to the plea agreement, witness interviews conducted by the agents investigating Peterson revealed that it was part of the conspiracy that Peterson's co-conspirators offered the women $10,000 to induce them to travel to the United States and consent to the adoptions. By preying upon both pregnant women from the Marshall Islands and loving Arkansan? I think that's how it's. I've never seen that word before. The word for a citizen of Arkansas. By preying upon both pregnant women from the Marshall Islands and loving Arkansan. I don't know how the inflection goes. Couples who wanted to adopt children, Mr. Peterson acted in a despicable manner and profited off of individuals who simply sought to enrich their families. We were proud to work along, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so after that, it's just ass patting. But I need to hear this. Pronounce. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't even come up with it. Normally, it. How to pronounce. Arkansan?
Arkansan.
Arkansan, okay. Arkansan. Johnny Goldmain with $5 New Zealand. Vaccinations are the vehicle that the elites will use to put nanotech into the general public and track us and control us. Love from New Zealand. That seems to be the case. That's why they're... See, I don't even think right now they were planning on doing that. They were trying to see how receptive the public would be to it. Why they were pushing vaccinations immediately. Crazy. CERN will save the world. And I don't know if you mean CERN or Mike Cernovich. Because we all know, the Thern, the one that's going to bring it all together. Oh, it's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. That's a fucking great book. I'll have to watch it. It's been a while since I've gotten, any interest in, like, what would you call it, like, American colonial expansion? But I really like the lush history of it. Because it wouldn't be an interesting story if there was one good side and one bad side. It's more of a compelling story if both sides are kind of evil. Like, or some of them had, like, evil people among them. Because I think, generally speaking, most people are pretty cool. Sort of like now, where you might have some apprehensions about dealing with somebody, your preconceptions. But generally speaking, if you dealt with somebody and they're respectful to you, you're respectful back. Respect earned is respect given, after all. What's the book called? The book's called Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I believe that's what it's called. It's been a while since I read it, but...
How dare you!
Where are we at? We're at an hour 20. Like I said, this isn't... I was hoping we were going to stumble down a rabbit hole, chat. We were just going to find ourselves something nice and interesting to dig our teeth into. Turns out, not much. I think I had to read that book in 3rd grade. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's when I read it, and I thought it was all right. It is geared towards a younger audience, but it's a good book.
I just got a free cheeseburger bite in there. I just picked it up and ate it.
The Veritas Facebook video, I think they're probably pretty decent about not issuing strikes and shit because they want the information to get around. But yeah, Project Veritas. I remember thinking to myself at one point, when the channel was growing pretty big, I'm like, man, I have more subs than fucking James O'Keefe. How weird is that? Not so much anymore. He's sitting at 500,000. More than 500,000. But there was a moment. There was a point in time where I was thinking to myself, why the fuck does Project Veritas have like 10,000 subs? What the fuck is going on with that? Why I really do think that the subscriber base is pretty much inconsequential. Doesn't really mean much. Like how I was watching, or I saw it in my feed, but there's a guy who does recaps of typically different turn-based RPGs, goes over the plot, just kind of retells the story, shows video game footage. It's a Black Oni Black Mage, I think it might be. But he was doing a live stream, and I want to say he has like 250,000 subs, and he had like 10 people watching. So, you know, the subscriber base, and then cultivating a live streaming audience, it's an entirely different cup of tea. Let's bring this up, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to speed it up. It does have captions, so we'll put it at like 1.5.
It's simple. As you say, be brave. I am more brave than I am scared of any trouble that anybody could give me for breaking some stupid NDA. I think the truth is more powerful than any NDA. To stick up for the voice of the people.
Facebook. Yeah. Facebook's notorious for it, and they say they don't, but it's clear that people's content comes up because it's been defiltered off the queue.
It's a very progressive company who's very anti-MAGA.
If you see a conservative post, you just get rid of it. Right.
Hold on, chat. I'm going to speed it down, or slow it down rather, because I can barely follow it, and I know if I can barely follow it, you guys probably can barely follow it. So, because I know you're slightly brighter than I am, wink, but smarter than I. But I know if I'm struggling, that means you guys are probably struggling and trying to be nice enough to not really say anything.
I said it's not even hot outside.
Zach McElroy came to Project Veritas because of what he saw at his job at Facebook in Tampa, Florida. He saw and filmed evidence of structural and cultural bias inside Facebook discriminating against Republicans and conservatives. McElroy's story raises serious doubts about the under-oath testimony of Facebook's CEO Mark Zuckerberg to Congress, where he claimed Facebook has no political bias.
What percentage of the flagged posts in the civic harassment queue, as it's called, were Republican conservative?
I saw a stark contrast between Republicans versus Democrats in that queue. I saw upwards of 75 to 80% of the posts in that queue were from Republican pages, politicians, journalists, and pages that supported the president or supported conservatives.
What does that tell you about Facebook/Cognizant's algorithm here?
Well, certainly the algorithm is not human, but it had to be made by a human. Republican pages, politicians, journalists.
I have to rewind something, chat, because it's just something I noticed.
I saw a stark contrast between Republicans versus Democrats in that queue. I saw upward.
Let me rewind
CEO
it.
Mark
So
Zuckerberg
do you
to
see
Congress,
how James
where
O'Keefe
he
is
claimed
sitting?
Facebook has no
I know this
political
is
bias.
a nitpick, chat, but
What
work with me for a
percentage of the
second.
flag?
Now, I know a lot of people cross their legs. Folks, I could not get comfortable sitting like that. I wonder if James O'Keefe might be a bit, rainbow. Pick up what I'm putting down. Like, are you trying to do a Buffalo Bill? What are you doing with that fucking stance, man?
Flagged posts in the civic harassment queue, as it's called, were Republican conservative.
I saw a stark contrast between Republicans versus Democrats in that queue. I saw upwards of 75 to 80% of the posts in that queue were from Republican pages, politicians, journalists, and pages that supported the president or supported conservatives.
What does that tell you about Facebook/Cognizant's algorithm here?
Well, certainly the algorithm is not human, but it had to be made by a human. So for 75 to 80% of the posts to be targeting Republicans and conservatives, you can say it was a bot, but somebody had to design that algorithm. So really, somebody at Facebook.
Some people on Capitol Hill have expressed interest in this ratio that you speak of. Are you willing to potentially testify under oath that 3/4 of the posts that you saw flagged were in one political direction?
To the best of my knowledge and ability, yes. To me, censorship online is one of the biggest issues facing us in the lead up to the 2020 election. Well, insofar as I was not somebody who was working behind the scenes on policy, but rather as someone who was enforcing policy, I saw everybody around me, and I saw myself, and I did a little bit of comparing, and I thought, you know, there really are not very many conservatives here. And because there are not very many conservatives, I really don't think there are very many people sticking up for the voice of conservatives at a company that handles all the flow of conversations, basically a large portion of the discourse online. And we are essentially in charge of what gets said and what gets stifled.
You mentioned the election.
So I gotta be honest. I'm not very interested in this in the slightest. I'm interested in the topic, but this interview is boring the fuck out of me. So maybe I'll watch it later. Like, yeah. You know, tell us something we don't already know, James. Yeah, the guy he's interviewing kind of freaks me out. That was my thought the entire time. Like, you know, kind of unpleasant looking guy. Yeah, I don't know, chat. Say that. Well, that's not that great scale. A good black and white filter. I prefer the red though. He does have that vibe, doesn't he? Let's try out this other one. Black and white. Well. Black and white. The grayscale is okay, but black and white looks. Okay. Did you talk about Lauren Southern coming back, or Iconoclast being doxxed and banned? I haven't heard. I don't know who Iconoclast is, but I haven't heard of that. Lauren Southern, we did a stream about it, laughing at Paul Joseph Watson, basically, not even basically telling everyone. I think I can almost directly quote it here, saying, "You think," he said when somebody said, "Dude, you just sound like a jealous lover. You just sound like you want bitter because she started a family with somebody else." And he said, "Do you really think a guy as handsome as myself was not, quote, inside her?" It's fucking greasy. Greasy shit, man. Like, I can just hear Julian or Ricky from Trailer Park Boys going, that's fucking greasy. Bubba News off subject. Yeah, the Bubba Wallace shit. That's what I've been following because I knew it was bullshit and it was just kind of fun to follow it for a minute. Dude, have you noticed the huge resurgence of Chaggot into the cultural ether of our small corner of the internet since we randomly spoke about him last week? No, he's been making the rounds for a minute. He was on the Kill stream not too long ago as an honored guest. I'm being kind of facetious when I say that, but you know, I can't really say much about the state of things about that particular show besides just look at the guests. Jacob Wall, Baked Alaska, Laura Loomer, Chaggot, Chlorine. I mean, I know it was a bit, and they're trying to... What they're doing, right, is they're bringing people who are more exceptional than Ralph, or trying to, anyway, so that they can kind of laugh at them. But the thing is it's just not the case. And I'm of the personal theory, chat. I have a conspiracy theory in regards to their dynamic. I think that you know how similarly they keep people around the show to kind of laugh at, to be as an entertaining foil. I think that's why Ralph is there. I think that's why Dick keeps Ralph around. Somebody for chat to laugh at, keep the conversation going, keep interest in the show. So it's hard to walk away or like not turn back and look at that train wreck. No, I try not to. I try to go, let's just focus on other shit. People don't really care for the E-drama. But man, it's just, I can't look away. I heard Ethan Ralph got attacked at the airport, or is that BS? So I heard about this. He posted to Twitter saying that he was moving through the aisle. He was just pushing his way through a fucking line, right? Like everyone's getting out of the airplane. He's just pushing his way through the line like an asshole. And at one point, some chick like calls him out, and we heard his side of things. That's really why I have to call it as the complete opposite of how he portrays it, because he's like, I was just walking through, minding my own business, just scooting through the aisles, scooting past people who weren't moving, cutting everybody, and then somebody finally like called him out, and he did the whole "you want to holler over me" right in public, and apparently that doesn't exactly fly out in public, and they tried to file charges for like battery or some shit or assault, and of course it didn't come to fruition, and it would have been bullshit if that was the case. I mean, I don't think that any of that had happened. I don't know. Of course he has me blocked, so I didn't see all of it. I just saw I think a screenshot someone sent me. But,
I just got a free
two
cheeseburger
screenshots.
Right, I just picked it up.
But when you're dealing with Ethan Ralph, you have to understand that you have to take what he's saying with a massive grain of salt, and you have to factor in how he normally acts, and go, oh, so let me get this straight. You just acted like a complete prick at an airport, and some chick just put you on blast in front of everybody, and then, he doesn't take shit from no one. He has to keep it real. So you can bet that he threw a fucking fit, caused a scene, and was talking to security, apparently. Heaven forbid you just wait your fucking turn. The way things are supposed to work, it's like when people on the road like do illegal shit to pass somebody. Like you're going 5 over the speed limit, but there's still somebody that on a tiny ass road on double yellow lines. I'm a stickler for following fucking rules of the road. And I'll admit I do 5 over because of how much just pressure there is on the road to be always doing 5 over the fucking speed limit. Even police. This has happened many times in my life. If you do 5 under, or not 5 under, if you don't do 5 over, you do in a 35 zone, if you're not doing 30, 39, 40 miles per hour, cop pulls up behind you, they're riding your ass for as long as, until they get out, and they will turn off and speed away. Like, obviously irritated that you're being so fucking slow. It's happened to me when I was younger a lot. So I go, okay, they clearly want me to do over the speed limit, which is weird because the limit is 35. If you want it to be 40, just make it fucking 40. I really hate that shit. Don't make the law says this, but the acceptable law is this. No, motherfucker, make the law what you want the law, so that way you don't have a bullshit excuse to pull me over, even though I'm a goddamn saint on the road. I drive like a fucking grandma.
I am so mad!
But, yeah. Well, that's all I gotta say, really, since you were curious. All I can say is Ralph's been kind to me and shown me support when he had no incentive to do so, so I keep my opinions on people generally condensed in my personal interactions with them. One step too far, that is exactly the right approach. I would not want to hamper your perspective. I'm giving you my opinion, shooting from the hip, so to speak. If you can have a pleasant relationship with a guy, all the power to you and all the power to him too. At the end of the day, I want the guys to succeed. I want the guy to be that figure of perseverance, a guy that no matter how hard he just hits the bottle, no matter how hard he hits the fucking ground, he always bounces back. I like that version of Ethan Ralph in my mind, even though I know that that's only a bit of the story, but there is some truth to that, by the way. But the thing is he's such a compelling character to watch as like a walking trash fire that I can't help it, dude. I have a problem. Kidding, of course. It's called a solution, actually. It's entertainment.
Cocksucker!
Let's see. I do 4 to 9 miles over, and that's what most people do. All of Texas cops pull you over for no reason. I've been pulled over a few times, but I'm fucking Boy Scout chat. Immediate every time, interior light on, hands at 10 and 2 o'clock, and he comes up to the thing. Good evening, officer. How you doing this fine night? I'm doing all right. Just, trying to make it home. Just got off work. Gonna go hang out for a bit and get some much deserved sleep. Something like that. And there's like, no problem, man. No problem. The last time I got pulled over, what he said, no. Second to last time I got pulled over was a few years ago. And he goes, well, sir, I see that you got some you got some fast food there, and we don't want your food to get cold, so we just want to talk to you for a second. We had somebody that is dangerous right now. Like, we're looking for him because he's got a fucking gun. Shit's going crazy. He's driving the same exact vehicle as you. So if you don't mind, can we check your license? And we just want to make sure that this isn't the car. You're good to go. Yeah, absolutely, sir. Here you go. And they checked it, and he just small talks. So he's like, hey, what you eating tonight? I forget what it was, something from Jack in the Box. He goes, oh, those are pretty good. I like those. Yeah, those are good burgers. Well, here you go. Have a nice night, sir. You too. Take care. Drove away. And the other time, it was right when I moved to Paradise. It's literally the first day. It was a little bit late at night. I had my friends with me. And I remember seeing him on the side of the road and thought to myself, he's got his eye on me. I can just tell. And then he pulled away. I'm like, hey, he's going to pull me over. And I ain't got nothing to hide. Like I said, I'm a Boy Scout. So I'm just like, whatever. Pulled over. But things got a little heated for a second because I do my whole bit. Interior light on, 10 and 2 o'clock. And I roll down my window and I hear him yell, John! Like super loud. And then I looked in the mirror and I see that his hand is on his gun. And he's, John! Is that you, John? And then I yell. It was very much like that episode of Super Troopers. I'm like, sir, I am not John and there is no John in this vehicle. And he comes up and as soon as he sees me and we make eye contact, he realizes I'm not the person he's looking for. And he gets this sigh of relief, holy shit, dude. There's a guy who's a lot of trouble. He's driving your exact vehicle. I gotta go. And he goes, also, I'm really sorry, by the way. You guys have a nice evening. And runs back to his car and takes off back in the other direction. And that was my first night in Paradise. That's when I knew, yeah, I'm home. Oh, that was a fun night. Also, I will say, besides the moment of holy shit, he has his hand on his gun, I legit didn't feel in fear of my life at all. Not in the slightest. Immediately, I looked at him like, all right, bud, just chill. You are not a threat at all. So all you got to do is do exactly what he says. It was what the voice of reason in the back of your head is that you got this, bro. 10 and 2 o'clock. Sit there with a smile on your face. Maybe not a stupid smile, just kind of normal. Don't overthink it. But no, it sounds like John was a bad hombre. Yeah, no, that was exactly it. Just his reaction, he was ready to go. He was fucking ready to go. Then again, Paradise PD don't fuck around, by the way. I think the guy got discharged from the force, but 5 or 6 years ago, they were chasing a drunk driver, and the drunk driver rolls his car, and he jumps out of the car with his hands up, and it's just the most amazing thing to see. Amazing isn't the right word, but ironic almost, because he raises his hands to go, I'm unarmed, and this provokes the officer to pull his gun and shoot the guy, fire one shot, hit him in the head. It's just one of those whoa, I didn't expect that to happen like that. It shocked me. It was weird. Yeah. Just start singing We Love Our Cops. That's what I'm going to do next time. I'll also say We Will Protect Ourselves. And where's Cairo Sagero when you need him? Here, good way to... That is our pallets chat.
Cairo Sagero wasn't looking for trouble on the light rail that night, but trouble certainly found him. And when that fight broke out, he was ready for it with his trusty katana.
I actually carry this because I've become a little bit more dangerous without it than with it. So it's more of a restraint mechanism than a safety blanket.
The fight had been going on for about 20 minutes. It was 2-on-1. None of them saw Cairo Sagero move around behind them.
To them, they probably thought I was just moving out of the way, but I was actually setting up to where their blind spot was. If he had gone on me, I was planning to go in completely, drop the sword down, and then completely gave him open. The sad truth is that they weren't even a challenge. I already had a full 5-stage plan ready to take everyone out, and anybody else who got involved, just in case. That's just the way I do things. This is about what you saw on the train. It's folded, tempered, and it does its job. My family couldn't handle me. I had a surprisingly strange affinity for sharp objects, particularly kitchen knives, when I was a kid.
So he traded in the knives for a lifetime of studying the sword. The katana goes with him everywhere.
Absolute legend. Absolute legend. God needed a weeaboo. And a driver. He's up there with Dale Earnhardt. And, I don't know, Jimi Hendrix?
Actually carry this because I've become a little bit more dangerous than when I was just moving out of the way. But I was actually setting full
Here we go.
No.
There we go.
No Jews.
Let's leave that on screen for a minute.
Forget Jews. No
Our
Jews.
boy, Cairo Sadro.
No swidgen. No San Francisco cocksucker.
Can you imagine? If I had just five people in my life like Cairo Sadro, this fucking culture war, this class war, this race war, this fucking everything war, the war on homelessness, the war on drugs, the war on coronavirus, it'd all be over. It'd all be over in a fucking heartbeat. Can you imagine just 5 men like this? It'd be like 1,000 Spartans. Consider the West's save. Move aside, sir. Move aside. Unironically, I think this guy could probably take down at least a few people on a battlefield, just because he's got like the commitment to look stupid for a second. Need 7 men. 7 men. Way more legit than the Star Wars kid. Fuck yeah, dude. The Star Wars kid didn't stop a fight on a train with his sword. This guy did. Living the dream we all wish we could live. Absolute excellence. Look at that execution, that stance, that pure spirit. That sickly skin tone. Well, yeah, that's true. By Webb, are y'all talking about George Webb? I don't think so. I think that probably not. I don't dislike George Webb. I'm more interested in his brother Dave. Unfortunately, he doesn't upload anymore, but Dave's a thoroughly interesting guy. Like, George is kind of crazy, and he gets a lot of shit wrong, but I think his heart's in the right place. I don't really care for Jason Goodman all that much, but I feel like George Webb's heart's in the right place. He might have legitimate schizophrenia, and I don't mean that as an insult, because like I said, I think he means well. Dave doesn't like George. Dave is not a fan of what he does on his show or the things he talks about, but Dave is a smart individual. Did a lot of work with like cybersecurity and shit with the government. I think the NSA, if I remember correctly. And he used to do these videos where he would debunk George Webb and whatnot. But the video I really liked of his, and I had wished that I had the forethought to download it, because it was just an informative video mixed with performance art, kind of, if you know what I mean. He's explaining what is called, I think, Tooler's Rule or Tooler's Law, and going on about how fast you have to react in order to have the legal right to pull your weapon and fire it to protect yourself. He keeps pacing back and forth the exact distance. He goes like 3 meters. 3 meters means that if somebody's running at full speed at such and such speed, you have to pull your weapon and discharge within such and such time. Like, it was very precise, and I really liked it. Holy fuck, this guy's interesting. This guy's smart. I dig it. Anyway. Yeah, the guy at the sword who got beat up by those joggers would have been fine if he was if the master swordsman would have lived. He was, missing his sensei. Where the hell are you doing not dropping your whole life to call out YouTube for censoring a Tim Pool video? You got me. I guess he'll have to find a different way to sell those fucking food buckets. I don't know why he isn't selling beanies. Missed opportunity, right? You'd think he would have somebody make his beanie and sell it. Because people, even people that don't like Tim Pool would probably buy that. Hey, I got the Tim Pool cosplay. Check it out. Oh yeah, no, I saw the sword guy get stomped to death. No, I think he lived. It was pretty graphic though, man. It was one of the more graphic things I've seen on the internet. Yeah, Cairo Sagero chased his sword off of a waterfall. Yeah, it's a 21-foot rule. I think that's what it is. Andy Worski got off because they couldn't prove he was mentally capable to stand trial. That's the truth. Is that really true? That's the first I've heard of that, but you know, as somebody who's familiar with Andy Worski, I could see that being true. Up a little bit. Tim Pool received an AR from Crowder. Yeah, I see a lot of people. I think I mentioned this earlier, but a lot of people going with the whole like Tim Pool's pretty base now. Well, you guys realize, and maybe I'm being cynical, but that's the new direction of like the grift, like trying to appeal to people you might not like. You kind of kowtow to what you think they might say, but you know, behind closed doors, I'm sure he's still a liberal. I don't buy. He probably does legitimately oppose a lot of the more extremists on the left, which is why he has a little bit of anger and energy about it, because he sees them as a legitimate threat to something a little more relatable. But yeah, maybe I am wrong. I see some people are saying he's legitimately reformed. I don't know, man. I won't hold my breath, but all the power to him. If I can't even say it, I feel like he's a shill. I can't lie to you, chat. Yeah, he's a future writer. That's what I was thinking. He's gonna be a fucking neocon or something. He's not gonna be our guy. I hate to break it to you. I want to say he said something about to the effect of protecting his neighborhood or bar. Well, that's pretty. I will say that that's pretty. What's the word? That's decent. If that's the case, you know, you got to take care of your community. Your community starts with people around you, your neighbors, the place you work, the place that you meet at work, the people that support the place you work. If you work at a local business, you know, it's. Yeah. Wait, the sword guy from the riots, you're saying he lived? I swear he died. No, I'm pretty sure he lived. Commendable. Commendable is the word I was looking for. Thank you, AK Durden. You know, and there is the thing there. I mean, maybe even if he's like a grifter or a phony, it doesn't mean that he can't have his mind changed. So... know, who am I to speak on his behalf or really give you a concise analysis on the guy? I have to rightfully say I haven't seen enough to really make enough of his more recent shit to make like a very confident analysis on the guy. So maybe I'm wrong. The sword guy did die. Okay. Hammer of Corn is saying. Excuse me, Hammer of Crom. Where are we at? We're at 148. That's a good place to call it, I think. Hour 48. We're approaching one. The guy who got dragged by the FedEx truck can't breathe anymore. Ugh. Well, you know, maybe he'll get a parade like Bubba Wallace. Wouldn't that be nice, chat? Nice little parade. Anyway, that'll be it for tonight, chat. It was nice hanging out with you. A bit of a chill stream. It's kind of how we do things. Yes, associate producers, it says now. But I guess we could play out with a video. Let's see here. I really do like the Robo Shills. Nah, it's probably. I just got here. You can't go, man. Sorry, man. I'll leave it I'll leave it public. I'll probably unlist the one from earlier though, and maybe upload them separately. Maybe I'll just upload this one. The one from earlier I didn't think was that good of a stream. I'm looking at an article that says he lived. Yeah, that's what I had heard as well. Appreciate that, Dominic. You know, that is why I stream. That's a big reason, because if I'm bored, I know everybody else is probably bored, and it is of some value to me that I can help break up the mundane when there's jack shit on TV. Everybody fucking sucks. No one is having a good time. Hopefully I can kind of get a few laughs out of you and bring a little bit more light into your day. Name my car, that could be good. Good. And then I saw another one. Thanks, Wild, you're uplifting. Yeah, that's good to hear, man. That's why I do the show. That's why, right there. Good to know that you guys can take something positive out of this. So I do hope that it makes the world a little bit brighter, that we can laugh about things that really do suck. But you guys are great. Always a fucking pleasure. Take care. I haven't heard from Davey. We're going to talk today, so maybe we'll have an episode up in the next few days, but I'm still writing out the outline. But it looks like it might be like a 2 to 3 hour like video stream, which I should drop the links to all of those in chat real quick. So a link again to the Crockpot if you're not already subbed to there. I'll probably upload that the Irrational Times intro a little bit later, and the archive link. And what time is it? It is 2:30. I might do some gaming tonight. Maybe tomorrow would be better. But there's that channel, Wildlife Gaming. I almost never upload to it, but if that's the sort of thing you're into, that's where I do that sort of thing. Sometimes I upload gaming shit to the archive channel. But anyway, you guys all have a nice evening. I will be starting work tomorrow, so you might not hear from me for a few days, but I will see you guys in the next stream.